Good morning and welcome to this edition of Sell Your Own Product on Amazon for Income and Lifestyle. And first of all, this morning, I've got to apologize because what I'm going to talk to you about today is 3 days late. Well, it's about the Amazon return process. And Amazon, in all their wilderness wisdom, is dated. This is dated July 31st, and the products they're talking about, or the changes they're making, are going to start October 2nd, which is, about a month or so. And no, this is September. What is today? This is August the 5th. So we've got a couple months there. But what I want to talk to you about, because Amazon in their when they sent it out, I'll read it to you. Amazon is simplifying the return process. Now, I can tell you, anytime Amazon, and I'm not against Amazon, don't get me wrong, but anytime Amazon says they're simplifying something or the return process, and especially if they're sending it out to third-party sellers, which are what a lot of these are. If you're a private label seller, you're an FBA seller, and you might not have get this because the Amazon takes care of all the shipping as part of the FBA products. In other words, you send it to Amazon, and Amazon says they make sure that your customer is going to get it and going to be happy and all that. So, but this is mainly what we're talking about: third-party sellers, which are you and I. If you're sending your product in, or if you're a drop shipper, then you're definitely a third party, and whatever. And this is what I'm talking about. They're simplifying the process, and I'm not saying it's good, and I'm not saying it's bad, but it's going to cost you. Let's put it that way. So just let me read some of this here. And like I say, it starts October 2nd, which we've got a couple months yet to work on it. But what it says is they're simplifying the return process. In other words, when you sell a product goes out, the customer has it a couple days or up to a month, and then he called back in and said, I don't like it. I want a return shipping label, and it's what a lot of them do anymore because Amazon's gotten to the point. People have gotten to the point. Amazon, I don't know whether directly or indirectly, I think it's directly, but they teach people how to, I don't know if I want to say game the system. I'm not saying that, but they teach people how to send in returns. If you send in a return and ask for a return label, why then you tell your next door neighbor about it. When they get one, they're going to ask for a return label, and so on. When they tell their neighbors, everybody starts asking for a return label, and it's pretty much common now that when somebody returns something, they ask for a return label, unless they're completely new, haven't ordered from Amazon before, or things like that. They don't know about it. But anybody that's been around a while, been with Amazon, knows to ask for a return label. So what happens? You've got this product, and let's say it's a blue widget, and you want to return that blue widget. So you call up Amazon and say, hey, I bought this blue widget, and I don't like the color. I need to return it. And so the Amazon employee says, okay, they'll automatically approve a return. And that's not good or bad. I personally, I signed up. I have them automatically. I'm just tired of the hassle. And I'm not going to get anywhere or anything else because Amazon anymore is going to side with them. So I just automatically authorize Amazon to authorize a return and say, oh yeah, I'll send it in, and we'll give you your money back. Well, I used to have it set up so that the buyer, the person that bought the blue widget, would have to pay for the return shipping. Well, now, like I say, Amazon has got to the point where they almost always send out a prepaid shipping label. And especially when it comes to a blue widget, because I got in my head, widget doesn't mean anything. A widget is a small item or something like that, and so it's not much shipping. But sometimes when, for instance, I've got a return of a Karcher a pressure washer system. It's one that pulls around behind you, and I think it originally sell for somewhere between $130 and $150. I don't remember exactly what it was. It's been a couple months ago, and the reason I remember this is because I had some problems on the return of it. The customers didn't pay for it, and then they get a return. It's a long story, and I'm not going to go into that today because it doesn't make a difference. But anyway, what Amazon is saying, that automatically if that customer calls in, they're going to get it. They're going to get a return shipping label. And it also says down here, you might be responsible for the cost of return shipping. Well, I didn't look it up, but the way it is now, and pretty much what Amazon has always found, if a customer gets something and it's broken, it's automatically the seller pays for the the return shipping label. Well, and so, let's go on, and I'll explain later. We've got more to explain to that. The customer is going to be able to print a prepaid return shipping label via the return center. That's after October 2nd. It's not in now, but after October 2nd, the customer is going to call in. It's going to automatically be authorized, and then they're going to be able to print right there, just print on their computer, the return shipping label, put the shipping label on it, go back, and they're done with it. Even if they, like I say, it's a blue widget and they don't like the color. It doesn't make much sense, but it does to Amazon's employees. Believe me, they never hesitate to. I guess they just don't like. I guess it's natural I know for me, if somebody's calling up here and saying, "Oh, Terry, I don't like this, don't like that," you don't want to. What I'm saying, you'd want to hear it, but I like to think all my products are perfect, and they're not. But well, you know what I'm talking about, and I'm not going to long think to that. It's just kind of human nature that I think, if you were just selling one thing and it comes in and every so many you get a return, well, that'd be natural and there wouldn't be any problem. It's just natural to get returns. I don't care what kind of product you got, you're going to have returns. And so that being said, here's what Amazon is going to expect you. Now, if you not believe me, by October the 2nd, go to your Seller Central account, go to settings or wherever you need to go on this, and I'll tell you about it. But you need to go there and make sure you've got a return address on file. If for simply you're running your business out of a post office box or something like that, you're going to have a return address. So you might want to put down your house. You might want to put down, there's places like that you can hire to accept your returns, and they'll take care of them, and they'll put in a corner and you can pick them up, or they'll do whatever you want to. They'll change the label, ship them out, refresh them, and all that. It all depends on what you want. We're not going to get into that today, but there's a lot of companies out there that'll do it. They'll accept your returns and ship them back out. What can I say? But you're required now after October the 2nd. So like I say, you got a couple months to get over and make sure that you've got a return address on file that will accept your returns. You have to have it. Okay, number 2 now, you are required to issue a refund within 2 business days of receipt of a return. Okay, and that's fairly simple. If you got, like I got this pressure washer back, and within 2 days of receiving it, because I have to issue a return. Or refund, I mean. And there's no problem with that. I have no problem, especially on this one I was telling you about, this thing. The people wanted a refund, and I did issue the refund. I issued it's an eBay item, so I issued it through PayPal, and PayPal. That's one thing wrong about eBay. eBay is a little bit confusing because you got PayPal in the middle of it there, and eBay and everything else. So this customer ordered this power washer from me, and then they said they didn't like it. I think they used it once or twice, and then they sent it back in. So within 2 days of getting it, I got it. Matter of fact, I usually issue returns at night after supper if I've got any. That's when I do it because I don't know. I just that's part of my time. I don't spend a lot of time on the business in the afternoon. That's kind of my going out and getting a cup of coffee or doing this, doing that, and all that. So I after supper, I got the thing and issued the refund and return through PayPal, and now PayPal's holding it, and these people are coming again asking eBay for the return, and I said I've issued a refund. Anyway, it doesn't make any difference. That's my problem, not yours, but that's just a problem. Just goes to show the grass is not really that much greener on any other side. Okay, but you're required to issue a refund within 2 business days of receipt of a return. If you don't do it, Amazon's going to issue it from you. And then if Amazon's going to issue it, they're going to charge you for it, which you have to pay anyway. And it's also going to be a check mark on your on the way you take care of returns. So for God's sake, don't argue over that. Send the return in and then let Amazon worry about all that. What more can I tell you? You know, it's not worth the hassle. Believe me, you get those little those check marks on your Seller Central Performance and all that, and you get enough, and they'll just cancel your account. So no matter what you do, take care and issue that return. Okay, and it says you're required to issue a refund. Okay, you might be responsible for the cost of return shipping in accordance with Amazon policies. Well, like I say, that's what Amazon's policies usually state, or they have stated, and I should have looked it up before today to see if they haven't changed it, but I don't think they do. I will look it up and I'll let you know if they have. But it's very simple. If a product of yours or anybody else's arrives at the customer's house broken or not, in a place that it can't be used, can't be fixed, or what, it's automatically you pay the return postage. If it's something the customer buys from you, and say a blue widget, and they say they don't like the color, then it can be, and you can put it in your, it can be negotiable as who's paying the return setting, and you can put that in your preferences. And if you put your seller return preferences, go in there and change it. You can change that to, if something like that, then if the customer just doesn't like the color or something, then they've got to pay the return shipping. That's the way it is now. So I presume that's what we're talking about here. You might be responsible for the cost of return shipping. In other words, if it's something about customer doesn't like it, doesn't like the color or something, then that could be negotiable, and the customer could have to pay for that. That's what you have to put in. Or you, in this case, you're going to have to fight it out with Amazon, because they're going to approve it, and they're given the prepaid shipping label. So my advice is you're not going to win. What can I tell you? So just you pay it, and that's just part of the return process. Now, what you can do, though, there's certain products that Amazon considers. Oh shoot! Excuse me. It's my phone here. Let me check this a minute. I'll turn it off. But there's certain. Oh, there it is. I'll shut it off. All right. Certain products that Amazon considers. I'm sorry. Certain products that Amazon you can request an Amazon. There are certain products that Amazon says we don't have to pay return shipping on, and those if you go after, I believe it's, you have to wait until after August 31st. Well, at the end of this month, you can go over there and you can register some of your products if you believe they don't qualify for return shipping, and go over and see like that, and then they will tell you whether you can or not, and mark yours, and it'll be put on your product page that this is not eligible for return shipping. It's real simple like that, and Amazon's pretty good about that. The problem with Amazon is it's what we talked about the other day. Jeff Bezos, if he says this is this and this, it's sick. If he does it, there's nobody else in Amazon that really can make a decision. It's oh well, I'm not getting into that. Not getting into that. It's and you can appeal return disputes directly to Amazon. You know, and let me see, they got a date on that. To learn more of it. Yeah, it's like anything else. You can dispute a suspension. You can dispute a return. You can dispute a bad mark on your seller rating. You can dispute everything, but you have to send something in, and you know, the Amazon seller, they just have a rubber stamp, and they send it back to you, and it, how do I keep getting into this? And I don't mean to. So Amazon. So what I'm trying to say is, in this might be beneficial. Some of it is. Some of it I really like. This thing about they take care of it, the return and all that. You don't have to, because a lot of times you're going to get a return. Like, well, let's take for instance this. Sprayer that I was talking about. All right, that's fairly heavy. It's probably close to 20 pounds, maybe something like that. So when you return ship that, that's going to cost you, it costs a lot of money. And then if it does, you're going to have to turn around and either sell it private, not sell it drop ship or something else, but you're still going to have to pay the postage, whether you send it in Amazon FBA or you drop ship it and send it to the customer. You're still going to have to pay the postage again. So you're going to have to pay the return postage, and you're going to have to pay the if you go sell it again and go back out there. And believe me, if you get an item that's fairly heavy or something like that, that's not cheap. It's not like sending a nose ring or something like that. It's a big package. It goes and they pick it up and send it, all that. So what I'm saying is, sometimes you might be better off just to give that product to the customer. And what I'll do is I just put a little note on there. Here is your refund. Please do whatever you want with the product. You're free to give it away or use it or donate it or whatever, and just sign it off like that. And believe me, life is too short to get into a bunch of hassles over shipping and products and stuff like that. If it's going to cost me $20 to be happy, then I'm going to take that. You know, it's not whatever I'm going to say. In other words, that's what I'm saying, and I hope you understand that. I'm saying life is too short to go through a bunch of hassles. And with that, because that was my wife on the phone there, and she needs for me to call her because we're short a car, and so I've got to go pick her up, I think. So with that being said, I'm going to sign off on this, and because that's all we really want to talk to you about today. We're going to talk about some other stuff. We've got some other ones coming up that we're going to do, but what we're talking about is Amazon is simplifying the return process, and there's some stuff in there you've got to do. Check out your products and check out your settings, especially your return settings and that, and get it, you know, and don't put it off. You know, we've got over a month, and matter of fact, 2 months right now, but the time now is to get it set up and to get it going. So with that being said, I wish you a good day. Like I say, it's Saturday right now here when you're watching this. So enjoy your day off, have fun, and I shall talk to you later.